murderers!
They're completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorised. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall, and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest. But in return, I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child, or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do, and what I am responsible for, are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
The police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
Clearly a left handprint here. A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently. Police boots, always happy to trample evidence. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole. A man's footprint. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping John. A steel dirk, sharp, a common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? A violent death. But this man, limping, coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John. Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. Someone was dragged against their will. The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place? Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound. I'll use it to create a solution. I can use this to stop the infection from spreading. I've collated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards. No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go there.
Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates. A single Malpal butt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp. So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
You still here?
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened here.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. And maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here. You fellows at City Hall do that. Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clerk can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go. Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sheriff. Perhaps we should sniff around. And in the camp a little more thoroughly.
Is this familiar to you?
They often take us from the camps to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way we get a glimpse of freedom.
Was that depravity in the photograph one of the workplaces the refugees are taken to? And all the while the police look the other way. Ugh, typical.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Naylor?
Naylor. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Naylor's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Naylor, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Naylor? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Naylor, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Naylor doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
You still here? Go and bother someone else with this, son.
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scaladio. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right?
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business. Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
On my way here, I was wondering whether you might regret what you did. I tried my best to retain at least a shred of faith in humanity. I had hoped that you would hear her scream, see her face in your dreams, or at least once ask yourself how Naylor might feel.
Who?
Neither of my hopes were fulfilled.
Why are you here?
You defiled a girl who was with child. Don't even pretend that you regret what took place. Do you wonder why I came here? It is because I am disgusted with people like you, and the only way in my mind to rid the world of your ilk is to see you hanging from the gallows.
All right, all right. Is it about money, as you said in the letter? I have it, all right? There's no need for violence.
I've never written a single word to you. As you can see, I have a more direct approach.
That letter, it wasn't from you. So what do you want?
Answers, to start with.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
Boniface Mercurio. Does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt. Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
That's not all. Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
An impressive slice of life. The police had a lot on him, and at the same time, nothing at all. Amateurs.
Extra, extra! Murderer on the...
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp.
That's our way in, Sherry.
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm investigating a robbery, and Mr. Bernadotte may be just the man to help me with...
You a copper?
I have nothing to do with the police.
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away, or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotte's best interest to...
1...
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Take a rest, my friend.
The snuff's ready.
Dodge this!
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Don't cry, you'll live. No more crime for you.
The snuff's ready. We can overcome the brute now.
Take a rest, my friend. Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff. Time to knock this guy out.
Take a rest, my friend. Don't cry, you'll live.
The snuff's ready. Jerry, look. This seems familiar.
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it. Let's see what's hidden there. Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case? Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa. A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least. VH Grindley Flow Blue tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited.
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got to... It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor. 1875. It's taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Then come here, and we shall talk. Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Bad news. The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotte, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization, and thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotte.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office.
As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
Mr. Bernadotte, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself.
So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotte?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I'm rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
The front door's now open, sir. You can leave through it. If you want, of course.
Have you thought it all through?
Almost. The refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh. I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me, too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice for Naylor.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugees.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation?
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotti? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important, after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
Previously you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear, I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained, specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume?
Correct. With whom do I have the pleasure?
Emilio Estevez. Happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the details.
I'm afraid I don't have time for this now.
I hope that you will reconsider. If you do, I'll be here. So, are you ready to take on the task?
You have my attention, Mr. Estevez.
Mark Ridley, the son of General Arthur Ridley, is being blackmailed. Suffice to say, the compromising material is of a delicate nature. The matter is of no small importance to the Crown, especially given the status quo on Cordona.
What does Mycroft want me to do? Retrieve the blackmail material?
No, sir, nothing of the sort. Mark Ridley is meeting the blackmailer atop the old city bridge tower. You shall observe from a distance, then establish the blackmailer's identity. Do not attempt to arrest him. We'll handle it from there.
Saving the best for yourself? Fine.
There's a cafe just over the bridge that provides a good vantage point. Please report to me when you are done. I'll be waiting for you here, and remember, discretion is of the essence.
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare...
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything! I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible. It must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around, too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the Cabinet of Curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that. Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator, and this was her Cabinet of Curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable. Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling if it were actually true.
The full plate armour of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject. Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that. And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
(1852), Bingley, West Yorkshire. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake. So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand. Reliable and driven. I recognise Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido. Carefully opened. Dated 24th of April, 1869. This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
I'm starting to remember something. Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons. I remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for a
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace D. Oram.
Oh, Mycroft. He always acts so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted a deadly rabbit was hunting him. Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
The painting on the wall was slightly atilt. He stopped and straightened it. Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it? I think this is what we're looking for.
We made it. So what's there?
Single malt whiskey. Mycroft's favourite. Gifted by Queen Victoria herself. Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research. Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met. I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what, and we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them. I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out. Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside. An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
Who the hell is that? Get him!
I couldn't miss the party.
Don't bother moving. You've lost. Don't cry, you'll live.
Give him the pepper snuff.
No more crime for you until next month. Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
I'm coming for you. Oh! Get ready for some pain.
We can overcome the brute now.
I couldn't miss the party.
Take a rest, my friend.
Give him the pepper snuff. He's all yours now.
Don't cry, you'll live. Too simple.
The snuff's ready. Taunt.
Take a rest, my friend. Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
I'm coming for you. Get ready for some pain.
We can overcome the brute now.
No more crime for you until next month. Panzer is captured, but alive. Now, to report to Miss Sertle. I deduced the location of Friedrich Panzer and was able to apprehend him.
So I heard. What a coup. Congratulations are in order. And a new article in the paper. Perhaps sterling stranger squashes smugglers?
How kind of you. I'm sure with little more thought you will land on the perfect headline.
Huh? With a little more thought? You're no writer, Mr. Holmes. Leave it to someone who knows what sells. Since you're here, Mr. Holmes, how about an interview? Strictly on background? Get to know the real you. Mycroft is rather tight-lipped, as you know.
Information is Mycroft's currency, and he does not disperse it lightly. He will tell you a barefaced lie without hesitation if it advances his cause. As for your request, I'm afraid the real me pales in comparison to your vivid imagination. An interview would do us both a disservice.
Perhaps it's best to let the mystery be. Now, on to other matters. We have another case for you. Are you interested?
I'd never hear the end of it from Mycroft if I declined, so please, Miss Sertle, fill me in.
I cannot. Your brother insisted that the contents of this envelope were for your eyes only. I can merely wish you a clear mind and a fleet foot.
bit dusty. Hasn't been touched for a couple of days. You did wear your favourite boots. Such devotion. Angelo's footprints end here, abruptly. Not a good sign. Colourful piece of fabric as a bookmark. An elegant decision. This must have left a grievous wound. Someone had to stand here for a couple of hours at least. 11 cigarette ends of the same brand. Somebody spent some considerable time here. A hasty job by an amateur, but Angelo was taken by surprise nevertheless. Can I ask you a question?
Of course. Let me help you.
Green silk, a bit worn and faded, but still an impressive hat. Someone desperately tried to stop the bleeding. I think I found the place where they took Angelo.
I thought we were against murder. No, you killed him! Hey, you could have kept him alive. Time to knock this... No, you killed him! I thought we were against murder. He's all yours now. Go for it. No, you killed him! I thought we were against... Hey, you could have kept him alive. We can overcome the brute now. I thought we were against murder. He's all yours now. Hey, you could have kept him alive.
The bandits had as much fun as they could. A primary instrument of torture. How vicious one must be to have to use it in such a way. A severed finger. No one deserves such cruelty. An engraving inside, together always and forever. Keys of different shapes and sizes. What could you open with these? They were tracking down Angelo. Quite a collection of books, but none of them with FD as the author. He sustained a great many injuries. They severed his finger while he was still alive. At last, I found you, Angelo. Mycroft should know about this. Bloodstains all over the mattress. What did you hide, Angela?
Seems like Mycroft will get the book he wanted after all. Do you think it has a coded message inside?
Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Ah, the illustrious Mr. Holmes returns no worse for wear. And with a gripping tale to tell, no doubt.
While the matter proved rather simple in the end, I'm afraid the details are not for your ears, nor your readers.
How very tantalizing. Your brother asked that I collect your report, and a book, if you obtained it.
Here is my report, and Miss Sertle. He will know if you opened it. I also retrieved the book for Mycroft.
Crime and Punishment. Sounds appropriate.
More than you may think.
Uh-huh. How so?
There's something else. I found a ring belonging to one of Mycroft's men. Did he mention anything further?
Alas, no.
Well, the man was a hero. Protected the secrets of the British Empire. Here, please deliver this ring to Mycroft. I'm sure he'll know what to do.
I don't understand.
Miss Sertle, I'm afraid neither do I.
This is his ring. My Angelo's ring.
Angelo Dondolo is your fiancé?
God. Your brother told me Angelo was sent to Roma. What happened? Where is he?
Angelo died in the line of duty, but his bravery saved countless others.
No, not Angelo. Not my Angelo. I don't understand.
I'm sorry, Yasmin.
Mycroft kept this from me. I am one of his best, and he kept it from me. He assured me Angelo would be fine, but he lied.
You are not the first victim of Mycroft's cold calculus, and you won't be the last. Your work has value to him, and the truth threatened it.
Well, by hiding the latter, he has lost the former. Thank you for your honesty, Mr. Holmes. Now, please.
Treasure maps from the governor. Find 8. Here, grab a seat. Here, grab a seat.
You even brought a book, huh?
May I have... Same as always.
You just don't give up, do you?
Oh, come on, let's get closer. Can't see anything from here.
No, too early.
So we're just going to sit here all day?
Patience, John. I have a feeling this is more than simple blackmail. We'll be close when the blackmailer leaves, and then...
Go! Oh, not a pretty sight, this. Head trauma. Fatal. Gravity is cruel like that.
He was stabbed several times before he fell. The shape of the wounds suggest a curved blade. A key, and where there's a key, there's a lock. The knife is missing.
It's almost like he's dancing.
Dancing the danse macabre.
Who's it? Oh, what's happened? Who is it?
A rather frivolous accessory for a military man. Shame it's all bloody now.
No signs of life, no pulse. I'm declaring Corporal Ridley dead.
What's happened? Who is it?
Please move along. The police are on their way. Everything's, under control.
Is it now? The General's own son has fallen out of the tower, and not without help, it seems. I need to inspect the scene, and quickly.
The corporal? He ordered me not to let anyone inside without telling him. But now... Wait, are you saying it's a murder?
A brief examination of the body was enough for me to conclude that he was murdered by a blade of Ottoman origin.
You can't possibly be so certain.
Oh, I can be. The corporal suffered deep stab wounds which were inflicted with great force. They were made by a knife meant for cutting, not stabbing. A curved blade, such as an Ottoman jambir or a Gurkha kukri. I haven't seen any Gurkhas on the island, so the conclusion is quite obvious.
Amazing. You do seem more than competent. All right, go in. I'll wait here for the police.
Did you see anything suspicious?
No, sir, nothing. Corporal Ridley had to attend to some private matters upstairs. No one went in, no one came out. Oh, but that means the killer is still inside. Are you sure you want to go in alone?
I'm not alone. I have my friend with me.
Your friend? You mean your gun? There's no one at...
Never mind, I'll be fine.
The killer's gone. Vanished into thin air.
This blade is a naval officer's dirk. Sharp and well cared for. The edge is covered with blood, but the tip is clean. Exactly 100 mangears. The killer didn't touch them. This cigarette is still smouldering. Can you smell the body odor, John? Someone's been hiding in here. Someone sweaty.
Unless it's a laundry chest. But then it's a different mystery altogether. The case of the vanishing sweaty pantaloons.
Ridley was attacked by his blackmailer, but before being pushed out the window, Ridley managed to wound him. The killer must still be bleeding.
Come on, let's take the rope down.
I'd rather take the stairs.
Ah, what a bore. Gonna join the Navy after all. That'd make Mycroft so happy, you know.
Shut up, John.
So what happened? Was there anyone upstairs?
No, the killer escaped. We're dealing with a carefully planned assassination. Do you know if the corporal had any enemies? Someone who would want him dead?
No, none that I know of. But then again, there's always the Ottomans. They'd want all of us soldiers dead, I reckon.
What can you tell me about the deceased?
We were from the same unit, stationed together at the barracks by the bridge, but I can't say I knew him well. Maybe someone at the barracks could tell you more.
That was a rough landing.
Wow. Amazing, right?
Disturbing is more like it. Aha! A curved knife covered in fresh blood. There we go. Doubt that this eagle is purely ornamental.
Careful, Sherry. Locals aren't too happy with what we're doing.
I'd better leave the knife here.
Infidel!
It's a bad time to ruffle any feathers.
Don't! No! What? Go away from it! Stop that!
Don't pass by. Welcome. Welcome.
You aren't here to relieve me from duty, are you? Oh, well. You aren't here to relieve me from duty, are you?
Help me, please.
Ah, I know this, yeah. Let me help you.
Nice. A room after my own heart.
A little austere for my taste. There are scratches on the floor. The locker was moved. That's quite a hefty sum. Enough to start a new life. 2 tickets to London. Would have been a very different ending for the corporal's story. Being the son of a general must be difficult. Rise all the way to the top. Make me proud, son.
Ridley's blood is on Ottoman hands. I just know it. Ridley's blood is on Ottoman hands.
Is this familiar to you?
Listen, friend. I like your face. I'll tell you. Don't miss out on my uni. Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed. Don't pass by. Welcome.
Come, come.
You are expected. Quickly, coming.
My love, oh, I'm so... Who are you? Where's Mark? Answer me or I'll call for help.
You will do no such thing, Jalen. We both know it.
How do you know my name? And why are you wearing this scarf? What has happened?
A flood of questions, but I only have one answer. Mark Ridley is dead.
No. This cannot be. You're lying. Tell me you're lying.
Keep your voice down, miss. I don't have time for a lady's hysterics. Mark has been murdered, and I believe that the murderer is part of this house.
No. It was a secret. We were meeting. How could anyone find out?
The truth always comes out one way or another, but enough of this. Tell me, have you seen anything suspicious here?
No, I heard the servants talking about blood near the main entrance, but I didn't think... This is too much for me. I can't.
Why did you have to be so mean to her?
I wasn't mean. Now is not the time for pity.
Is that you or your reptilian brain talking?
A bloody trail. Let's see where it leads. Pile of fresh clothes. How convenient. All soaked in blood. Well, a fresh shirt is as good a lead as any.
So, think you can identify the killer on the first try?
Huh. Do you doubt me?
What are you staring at, you crazy woman?
So, here you are. The wounded eagle in its eyrie.
What the hell? An Englishman here? Why are you wearing a dress?
I understand your confusion. It's been a turbulent day, hasn't it?
Do you have any idea who you're talking to, Brit?
Indeed I do. You are the proud son of this house. Proud, but wounded. You keep it well hidden, but you're far too nervous to think straight. So please let me explain while you catch your breath.
I am Osai, son of Hassan. You are on my father's property, and yes, you had better start being convincing.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I have every reason to believe that you were involved in the murder of Mark Ridley.
Are you accusing me?
That's right, I am. I recovered the murder weapon. It bears an eagle crest, the same crest that is so proudly displayed within your house.
And a proud house we are. My father speaks for all Ottomans on this island, remember that.
Regrettably, I failed to detect much pride in the callow way you ambushed the corporal. It couldn't have been very comfortable for you inside that chest, waiting to catch the corporal off guard. Couldn't you find a better place to hide?
You're a fine one to talk of tactics. You're dressed as a woman.
If you'll pardon the metaphor, he was a fishbone that became lodged in your throat. You had a strong motive to see him dead. At the heart of this crime is a woman, Jalen. I wonder who she might be to you. Your wife? Unlikely. Your sister?
Enough! Don't you dare say a word about my sister. It was he who led her to sin. That son of a dog, Mark Ridley. He spat on our traditions and brought shame to our family. His father promised us peace, but I knew how it would be. You feed the crow, it tears your eyes out.
So you risked the peace to right your honor?
I had no other choice. Not that you'd understand, Brit.
Azai, you are under arrest for the murder of Mark Ridley. You'll have to come with me now.
First you sneak into my house, and now this? We'll put you down like the rabid dog you are.
I'm coming for you.
Hey, you could have kept him alive. I thought we were against murder. Hey, you could have kept him alive. No, you killed him. Hey, you could have kept him alive. Time to knock. I thought we were against him. Hey, you could have kept him alive. No, you killed him.
It's time for you to go to prison, Azai. Come with me, and let's do so peacefully this time.
You'll regret this, Brit.
Mr. Holmes, I am in no position to reprimand you, but you should know that your unwarranted intervention will cost us dearly.
I did what I had to do. The killer was brought to justice.
I didn't expect you to be so narrow-minded. You have undermined your brother's efforts, and now we will have to face the consequences.
Such is the price of law and order, Mr. Estevo. Everyone must be held accountable for their actions.
Law and order? You are clearly oblivious of the bigger picture, Mr. Holmes. There is no point in us discussing it further. I bid you good day.
You did everything right, Sherry, no matter what Mycroft or his henchmen will say.
Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail? A dead body was found.
He's even been putting up posters.
Wow, things really got out of hand here.
An unfinished bottle of rum.
Spilled beer led to spilled blood.
The lenses are very thick. The owner of these glasses is very nearsighted. Someone must have landed hard on it. Shards of a broken bottle with blood on them. Solid oak. It took quite a blow to break it. Sharp enough to gut a fish or a man. An ordinary kitchen knife. That's a lot of blood. The victim was stabbed several times. It all started when the trader accidentally spilled his beer over the sailor. The trader punched the soldier who came crashing down on a table. The worker smashed a bottle over the trader's head, then the sailor knocked the worker out with a chair. The soldier is the real killer. He wanted to knife the trader but killed the sailor due to his poor eyesight. You have 3 people detained on suspicion of murdering a sailor in a bar fight. All evidence indicates that the soldier among them is the true killer. He was the last man standing.
Very well. Soldier or not, he'll get what he deserves. I'll see to it personally. Nice work. Try solving another case. It seemed you have a knack for it.
Huh. Some loot has been left behind. Whoever took it must have been in a hurry.
Greed and booze got the better of them. No wonder it ended in violence.
2 bullets hit the cart. No traces of blood, though. Droplets of blood. Someone caught a bullet here. Perfectly balanced for throwing. The blade is very sharp. The man with the shotgun fired only 2 shots.
Seems he was too busy bleeding to reload.
Stuck deep in the wood. Bent glasses with cracked lenses. The shooter fired 3 rounds. A brand new Colt, .45 caliber. Pieces of brass tacks, piranha rounds. The man with the shotgun was killed by a throwing knife to the neck, but not before firing at the man in glasses. The man in the hat took a bullet to his leg, but 2 other bullets missed. The report mentioned he was shot in the heart, but how? There's something I'm missing here. Who could have finished him off? A police boot print. So that's how it ended. I visited the location where the 3 robbers killed each other over some stolen loot, but I wasn't the first to inspect the scene, was I?
No. Officer Schmidt arrived there first, just hours after it was reported. Poor Schmidt. That same day, he received news that his dear old grandmother in Austria had died. He had to leave for the funeral immediately.
He is anything but poor. I doubt he'll be coming back. It was he who killed the last robber and took the loot for himself.
Blast it. I knew he was acting suspiciously. He may be beyond our reach now, but I'll be sure to expose the little weasel when I write my report. Nice work. Feel free to take another case. We make a great team, you and I.
The flowers are still fresh. This is a somewhat neglected and dusty hat.
We're dealing with a very immoderate bloodsucker here.
The stone is rather unwieldy, so it couldn't be used as a weapon. Someone fell and hit their head on it. Looks like a set of surgical instruments. One is missing. The label is illegible.
Nicely roasted.
Psilocybin mushrooms. These are powerful hallucinogens. I wonder how even the most destitute always somehow manage to scrape together enough for a drink. An expensive hat with a few grey hairs stuck to the brim. Someone tore their trousers here. The blade is bent from the impact. The bleeding wasn't severe, there are just a few drops. The brother of the deceased became furious when he caught the anatomist exhuming his sister's body. He killed him with a shovel. The graveyard keeper took to his heels, but didn't get far. He fell, hitting his head on a stone, which rendered him unconscious. With the murderer gone, the reporter who was hiding punctured the neck of the first victim to imitate a bite. But when he did the same to the second victim, he killed an unconscious man. So we have 2 murders and 2 murderers, but no vampires.
Vampires are not so scary when you have grave robbers and journalists running around.
Constable Stark, do you believe in vampires?
Hey? What do vampires have to do with anything?
Oh, that's exactly what I thought while looking into the murders at the cemetery. The primary suspect is indeed the murderer, but he's not the only one. The reporter, who so easily fooled everyone with his vampire stories, killed the other victim.
But why would he do that?
He believed the unconscious man to be dead and decided to concoct a thrilling story for his readers.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I'll have the conniving little scrub taken in immediately. There's only one case left. Don't let me stop you.
The hoof prints end in deep furrows. The animal was resisting.
What a waste.
The robe is soaked with wine. Multiple bare footprints. I should examine them more closely.
The priest said that he came here to stop the ritual. Did you really, Father?
The goat was torn to pieces. Ugh. Savagery. So, we have 3 lusty women engaged in a ritual. They're drinking and dancing when suddenly they hear a noise from the bushes. Their ritual seems to be working. There's a man they can get drunk already. While 2 of them are busy with the priest, the 3rd one leaves. She is the one who stole the goat and brought it to the ritual. The poor animal smells trouble and charges at the drunken woman with the amphora. Still, he couldn't break free, and at the end was brutally torn apart and eaten alive.
Well, they attracted the attention of men. The police, at least.
Mr. Holmes, I have great news. Our recent accomplishments have earned me a promotion. Sergeant Stark. It has a nice ring to it, hasn't it?
What do you mean, our accomplishments? Of all the nerve, I don't recall you doing very much. I solved all the cases.
Come, Mr. Holmes. I didn't mean to belittle your contribution. After all, legwork is just as important as paperwork.
And what about the brain work?
Also very important. Don't get me wrong, your assistance was most valuable. Anyway, I'll be moving back to the office space. My days at this blasted desk are almost over. I won't be scapegoated now.
Good for you, I suppose. Speaking of scapegoats, I've solved the last case on the board. The goat was stolen by the lady in the blackbird mask. As if that makes any difference, judging by the atrocity I witnessed at the crime scene.
Yes, I heard about that one. The things women get up to these days. Ugh.
Well, I'm glad to have been of service. Now I have other matters to attend to.
Mr. Holmes, if I may be so bold as to make one last request. Do you remember that I told you that our chief inspector has been missing for a few months now? My current task is to establish his fate. I've tried to make sense of his last case, but it's a convoluted mess. I would really appreciate your help.
Fine, you have me intrigued.
Thank you awfully, Mr. Holmes.
So is it Chief Inspector Placido who has vanished? From what I've gathered, he was a good detective.
Ain't that the truth? He was solving cases like shelling peas. Without him, things have gone downhill. He was a crotchety sort, always grumbling, fussing, taking his snuff by the handful, but I, for one, miss the old boy.
Tell me everything you know.
I don't know much. Just that it's connected to a gang called the Hive. Placido has been after their leader, the Hive Master, for years. But otherwise, I can't make head nor tail of it. Here, take the key to Placido's office. You might find some leads in there.
Very well. I'll see what I can find out.
One thing is certain. It's a dangerous business. Be careful, Mr. Holmes.